So, how are you guys? My name is Nixon, and today we are going to do a little bit of drawing in Moho, and we are going to use the 4 steps. No, there's supposed to be 3 steps. The first one is my layout, because I did a little bit of that in this, so they may not look so similar, my layout and yours. So, before we get right into it, let's jump into Moho and see what I'm talking about as my layout. So with me here, I have Moho. As you can see, the tools are always on the left. They are always on the left. Then there's the timeline on the bottom. Then here's where the difference comes. I have my layers undocked. Just came to the window, and on the docking system I undocked my layers. By default they're supposed to be around this corner, then this one is supposed to be somewhere around here. So we are done with my layout. Now on to the next step. Now importing reference image as layers. Now I need to import my reference image. So I'll come to this thing over here which looks like a paper with a plus button on it. Click it, then image. You can see image when you scroll. Image, I'll go and quickly look for where I stored my reference. I think it's in models and someone known as Sadi. The front view. This one's supposed to be it. Okay. Now that's the front view. As you can see, it's not in par with the camera view, so I have to reduce its size. Pay keen attention to this place. You can see there's the special, nothing is selected there, then the layer. Now this thing over here can transform the layer. That's the thing you select when you want to transform an entire layer. Reduce its size, increase its size, or do a little bit of that and this. Control Z. Now I want to level it with the camera view. Good. Now that's it for step 1. Now let's check on the step 2. I call it step 2, but it's been written 3. Use shape to build the head and the eyes. Here we are going to learn about symmetry and flipping a lot. Now, okay, let's jump back into Moho. Fuck, what the hell? Okay, Moho. Now, as you can see, I've kind of just brought my image in the layers, and by default you will find one vector layer which is readily available to you or anyone who opens Moho. Anyways, Moho. Now let's not try to assume that this vector layer is not here already, so we are going to use it. If you want to add any other vector layer, you just click there and vector. You'll get layers like this one, and you are free to rename one as you wish. So I'll rename this one head shape. Okay, now my head shape is ready, and I told you we are going to use shapes to build up or plot out the head shape. Back to Moho. So for the shapes, this is where we get them. You can see here on the tools, there's the draw tool. It's always available to you when you select a vector layer. When you select the image, they disappear. A vector layer, this is the draw tool where you can access the tools to draw on this vector page. And before I move on so much, remember This thing on the timeline here, it's don't know how they call it really, but this thing should always be on the zero. It is as you are drawing or editing a character to like an original stand. This thing should always be on zero. Once it's out, there are some tools here which you won't be able to access because this from one going onwards, it's animating time. But in zero, it's drawing time, editing time, and so on. Once you're out of this zone, the Moho has been built in such a way that when you're out of that zone, you are just animating. So let's begin. On the draw, there's the draw shapes, this thing over here. Once you click it, there are a variety of options which are come on top over here. So we shall take the that thing oval tool and make sure that the auto stroke has been checked on and not the autofill, the auto stroke alone. Or by default you'll find it's off. Let's work with it when it's off. Okay, when it's off, when you kind of just come and draw an oval shaped thing, then still on the draw tool, watch my steps. This is the transform tool. When you click on the transform tool, you can actually move points to various places or destinations that you'd like. So Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. And when I want to select all the points, I just click on the line. Then I can resize them to how I want. Now, since we've already drawn that, still on the transform tool, there are a variety of things you can see here when you're on the transform tool. One of them being important, the one that you use a lot is the positions. Position in X and Y axis. Scale, not so much, I haven't used it. Then, yeah, also this auto wheel, make sure it's checked on. Auto fill and auto stroke, make sure they're checked on. So when you click this, it will give you the coordinates of this specific point. And since you are going to have to work with symmetry, as you can see, the head has to be symmetrized, where this side is equal to this one. When I was a kid, not that we were fighting for dolls. Yeah, we were not fighting for dolls with my sister, but I just liked to make her go ballistic and dramatic. So my mom used to take the doll and divide it into half, and voila, the problem was solved. So here is what we are going to do. We are going to symmetrize this set. For you to symmetrize, make sure the X coordinate is at 0. You can see it has moved to 0. And also the bottom one is at 0. You can see it has moved to 0. Now for symmetrizing it, come to drawing tools again and select the selection tool. When you select this coordinate, and then you click on, you come here on top on the variety of options it have, and you click on mirror. It mirrors this side to this side. You can see my reference image was not actually perfectly symmetrized. So yeah, but no need to tense. If I Control Z and Control Z again and select the lower point, remember all of them are in X coordinate 0, and I mirror this, it will actually mirror this left part to the right part, but the head looks too much thin, like an egg. So I'm going to do it the other way around. I'm going to mirror this. It's fat a bit for a fat character. Yeah, that's more like it. So after that, so this shape over here, it has no stroke, no fill. The lines in real sense are actually invisible. When you render it, you'll get invisible lines. This is so because when we were drawing these shapes, this auto fill and auto stroke were off. So I'm going to show you how to make to get strokes from invisible lines. And there's a tool here called fill. When you select this second option, the first option is grayed out because we don't have strokes, any strokes on this layer we've selected, the head shape. So when you use this one, you can actually click the invisible stroke, and as you can see, it is giving you some fill inside here. But no, we don't want fill. You can see a variety of options are up here when you click on it. So when you click on stroke, yeah, it shows you the stroke which is there, but it's invisible. And now when you come here to style, you can see the color of the stroke. This color is the one which will take effect once you build this stroke. You can change the color if you want, but I'm going to leave it at default black. And if in any case I wanted the fill, if I create a shape there, it will take the default color here, which is white. I can change the color before I build it, and it will adapt to the color that I've changed. So the stroke, once I've made sure this one is on the stroke, and I have the invisible stroke on this reddish glow, I'll come and create a shape. Click it once. Then yeah, the stroke is there. Boom, voila, magic. Clap for me. Okay. Now, we have created a stroke, but now this head doesn't look like the shape on our reference. We want to give it a bit of shape, and to do that we just have to add points and tweak it a bit. So for us to add points, we go back to draw tools, and there's one thing here called add point. When you click on it, you can add a point here and push it while dragging without leaving it, or you can just simply add and leave it. Add one on this side and leave it. Now I only did 2 points there. Then now I'll go back to draw, and on the transform point tool, I'll just transform these ones a bit, move the points to where they're supposed to be. Well, I'll just copy this head actually, then I symmetrize it again, because I want these points to be perfectly symmetrized. So I'll come to draw tool again, select on the selection tool, take the upper point. Oh, let's make sure that point is at the 0 position. Okay, that's good. Take the upper point, then mirror it. As you can see, the head has become bigger, but I don't think this side is equal to this side. So this actual model was not okay, reference image was not symmetrized. That's why it looks like this. Alright, now we have the head shape ready. So we are moving on to the next thing, which are the contents of the head, such as the eyes. Yeah, the eyes. Let's begin with the eyes. We are going to also require another vector layer and rename it right eye white, which will just do R eye white. Yeah, RI white. Now for RI white, we'll come back to the drawing tools and take the shape, make sure you're in the oval. This time we're going to do with auto stroke on. With auto stroke on, this is what happens. And boom, voila, it has stroke. Magic. Okay, it has stroke, yes. Then transform tool, let's make sure it's right in the position we want. Okay, then we're gonna tweak it a bit. This eye, a normal eye doesn't look like this, so we're just gonna have to do 1 or 2, 3 things about it. So here, still on the transform tool, we could just reduce that, reduce this. I feel like this is a waste of time. There's one tool here that I want to introduce you to. Since we are on the layer of the RI white, that was obvious from the very beginning. So this is the tool I want to introduce you to. Here on the fill, no, not the fill, here on the drawing tool, we have this tool called curvature. When you click it, a variety of options appear here, which is good. You can click one point, and this is what happens. It gives you even the curvature, the degree or the level of curvature or something, and you can add a layer. Now if you click on peak, boom, it changes that into a point. Same as this one, if you click into a peak, boom, magic. Now it's just more. Okay, now we have our eye white, and that's it. Now we have to draw the pupil on another separate layer. Now we'll again add a vector layer and name it pupil, or R for right, pupil. Yeah, we want to add a pupil, and here on the pupil we're just going to use the shape again and do a circle. Move it to the position we want by the transform tool on the drawing tab or on the draw tab. Resize it the way you want, and voila, we have our pupil for the right eye. Now we've done one side of the eye, and we are done with it. So the thing is, we don't have to do the other side of the eye. The thing that we have to do is just go to the right eye white, that layer. Then next to the new layer or the new add new layer something, there's the duplicate layer. You duplicate the RI white, then you rename it, you delete the 2, then you come and change this R to L for left eye white. Now for this left eye white, this is what happens. Now remember, we are on the drawing tab, but this time we are going to the layer tab. We'll click on the layer and you can see what happens. Yeah, now we can transform the layer, but before we even transform the layer, we want to change the gizmo point, where the gizmo point is. This one is the gizmo. You can see this arrow thing like that and like this. So this is the thing to manipulate the gizmo called the set origin. So when we are going to set the origin to center, and you can see it has gone to the center of the layer of the not of the layer. Originally it was at the center of the layer, but now it has gone to the center of the drawing. The center of the drawing. Then, oh, this one have not been. You could click another tool and click it again. Yeah, now it has updated the coordinates. Once it has updated the coordinates, you can change this x to 0, 2. Make sure that its origin is at the center, because we are just going to flip this over to the other side. And if the center is here, which means it's going to be boom, perfect sync. So after we've set the origin to that place, we can go now to the layer, and here on top here we can find the flip horizontal, and boom, we have the left eye. We are going to do this again to the left pupil, whereby we just duplicate the layer, rename it R, change R to L, and then after that we change the original point to center, we set it to 0, then go back to the layer and boom, we flip it. We got our thing already. And yeah, you can modify your eyes or pupils on one side perfectly the way you want, then you just duplicate the layers and flip them over. Now the order of the layers changed the way we arrange them, so we're just going to make sure that the pupils are on top of their respective eye. If it's the right eye white, make sure that R pupil is on top of it, and L to L. Good. Now we're done. Now we are done with the eyes. On to the next step. We'll come here. We've already learned symmetry, how to symmetrize shapes, and how to flip layers. So here is the last stage is drawing the mouth and the nose. Oh, I forgot to add one, and also the eyebrows. We're going also to draw the eyebrows, to draw them literally. So now we can go back to the drawing tools and create a new layer on top of the L pupil. I believe it was the last one we did. A vector layer. Here we'll name it mouth. Mouth. Okay. Now for the mouth, we're just going to literally draw. We could use the pencil, you could use anything you're comfortable with. Now, but I'm going to use the add point. The add point, I just add a point there, I add a point here, and I add a point here, and I click escape to cut that thing. Yeah. Then on the transform tool, I just move them, and this one I'll make sure the x coordinate is 0 to be in the middle. Instead of moving it around, let me just symmetrize it. I'll take the middle one and mirror it. Now you can see here, the mouth now is perfect, but now it doesn't have a stroke. Let's add a stroke. Then we create shape. Then now I'm going to introduce you again to another important tool. Here on the field still is this tool over here. If you click one point and drag to the left, see what happens. Click on one point and drag to the left, see what happens. Or you could change the size. You could drag it to the right and see what happens. Now I'm sure this one is not perfect to this, so I'll just mirror it once more. Good. I'm sure they're perfect. So once I'm done with the mouth, we'll go on to the nose, create a new layer vector, and name it nose. For the nose, is what we're going to do. We're going to use, let's just use this add points. So I'm just going to copy this nose. Sometimes we could also use sharp corners. Click there, then uncheck it. Then it will continue with the smooth corners. Oh, I did an autofill, auto weld, and auto stroke. Auto weld, when you come and click close to the point where you started, it just kind of snaps together and creates a new shape. When for autofill, it gives it the white thing, it fills it up with that white color, the default white color. And for auto stroke, it gives it stroke. But this is not really what I wanted, so let us just Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z once again. Then we'll go to still this one and remove autofill. Sharp corner, remove it. Then that's it. Then we'll make sure this one over here, it is 0 coordinate. Wow, let's jump to the other side and symmetrize it. Let's see. Oh no, that's not what I really want. So I'll have to add a point down here and also make its coordinates to be 0. Then this is the point I'll select, then mirror. Good. That's the size of the nose I want. So I forgot to rename this one. This layer nose, or I renamed it. I just Control Z it and click OK. Now we have the nose, mouth. Now for the eyebrows. This time let's use the pencil tool. Let's add a vector layer and name it the R, capital R eyebrow. We have the R eyebrow. We'll take the pencil. Is it the pencil or the pen? Freehand. It's called freehand. What the hell? It's okay though. Now for the R eyebrow, we shall just take it slow. You've seen what happens. Now Control Z again. Now there's the auto stroke on, and wheeled ends, autofill. That's not what I want. Multi-stroke. Then there's the freehand options here. You can use pen pressure with variety, blah blah blah. These things, you'll explore them on your own. I don't know why I'm even showing you. Just take the pen and do that. Now give me the shape I want. Do that. I'm drawing the mouse, so it's a bit jagged. Do that. Shit. Take this thing. Pop, pop, pop. Easy fix. Press escape. Kwani kuna nini? Toka hapo. So, I'm done with the eyebrow for the right. So, again, these two, I'm gonna chip off this more so that part, then increase this one a bit. Now I'll just duplicate this RI, then I rename it delete that one, then replace R with the capital L for left. Then I'll just kind of move this gizmo to the center, to its center. After the center, let me switch tools so that I can update the coordinates. And I get back there, yeah. Then we shall zero this out. Yeah, once the gizmo has been zeroed out and it's at the center, you can see this thing. But the color of gizmo is not even, whatever. You'll see it. When you follow my steps quite well, you'll understand what you're doing. Then we will just flip this layer. Boom, and voila, we are done with the... We are not done. We are not done. We have to give it color, right? Now, color might be tricky, but I've figured out a way to make it so perfect and flawless. So don't tense. Or we'll do it. We'll do the coloring on the next tutorial. Let's close this one here. You could also turn off the eyes, see what you've done. Yeah, turn off the eyes and see what you've done. You could also preview animation. You just preview. Let's look at that. We have a long way to go, so we're gonna make this as cute as possible, and see you on the next tutorial.